Okay. Welcome, everyone, to Team Meeting. It is my great pleasure to introduce you and reintroduce you to the famous and brave Michael McCree, who is a well-respected author, hitting coach, fantastic baseball player, got his master's and undergrad at Georgia State University. Go Panthers. And we're talking about today his new book, The Undefeated Athlete, How to Be a Champion in Any Sport. And I think, Michael, we all need this kind of help, especially now. And welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. I'm glad to be back and doing this with you. So I love doing interviews with you. So this is great. And thanks for having me on.
Great. So, okay. So this book, can you tell me why, what is important about this book?
Well, youth-based sports development, or what I would call sports-based youth development, is super important because it's one of the things that it's one of the, I would say, the most well-used avenues to help teach young people, certain things like how to build character, how to deal with failure, and pretty much all the things that you're going to be dealing with as you grow up.
Right.
We can use sports as kind of a medium to help people deal with those types of things. So it's really important that we exploit the opportunity that we have in youth sports to help students work on those types of character building opportunities that all people need to develop. So
right. It's a focused part of your life that you can learn so much from.
Yeah, for sure.
Sports, if we just focus on sports, it can relate to all these other things.
Yeah.
Okay. What qualifies you to write this book? For those people who don't know you, let's hear why you're so qualified to write this.
Well, I've been coaching youth sports for the last 11 or 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've seen a lot in terms of what it is youth athletes need,
right?
The types of things they're dealing with. Not only did I go through it myself as an athlete, but now being on the other side as a coach, I'm able to see things a lot more clearly from a different angle.
Right.
I can kind of connect the dots and see the important things that I needed coming up versus, what's needed now that I'm a coach. I can kind of see things, like I said, from a different perspective. And also building relationships with families and parents and understanding the things that the places where they lack and the things they may not see. And so all of that's kind of helped me kind of develop kind of a better perspective on what it is youth athletes need.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the dynamic with the parents and the kids, I think, is really needed because you have some parents who didn't play sports, right? So they may not understand the pressures. You had some that played really well and really want their kids to do well. And where's that space? Correct? Am I going down the right road there? What you see with the parents?
Yeah. I mean, we have some parents who, they once played, then you have the ones who didn't play.
Right.
So their understanding on, athletics and working through certain things, they're just not going to understand. So,
yeah, because, when my godkids, my nieces and nephews and all that, at the end of a game, you have some good coaches, you have some bad coaches, you have coaches going through personal things that result in all kinds of other stuff. And so I think, this would really help. So let's tell us about the chapters. And now you've been, kind of intrigued my interest. What are some of the chapters that you think work really well?
Well, just to name a few, there are some chapters dealing with how to be a better leader for your team, developing more discipline with yourself, staying positive, how to deal with making mistakes from a mental perspective and how to get over that, how to handle injuries, because that's mental as well.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of kids out there, they're not really taught how to properly get through dealing with an injury.
Right.
Um,
Should they rest? Should they
yeah.
stay
And
out
just
an extra day may
right,
or
right,
weekend may make a big difference, and how
right,
the parents should deal with that. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
And just how to report those types of things to coaches and parents because a
Ah,
lot of kids will stay silent.
oh, I bet. Yeah.
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 And the book talks about how this could actually end up being worse if you don't go and tell someone, or, just
Oh,
not
yeah.
feeling ashamed that you do get hurt. You need to report it to somebody, and trying to play through it, how it can hurt your team and hurt you even
Right.
more. So yeah,
Yeah.
so certain things like that. Eating habits, sleeping habits, trying to get athletes in the mindset of how important things like that can be to your development and your performance. As a lot of times you're young, you really don't think about it a whole lot.
Right.
And
Right.
I wanted to mention that in the book because I at least wanted to plant the seed in students now, or in
Right.
players and athletes now. So
Right.
that's something they at least will stay in the back of their mind.
Right.
And I have quotes from professional athletes talking about why sleep is so important. So I think that was key as well. So
Oh,
it's
that's
not just me saying it. I have,
yeah. So
Tom
they get
Brady.
into a habit that's really
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, how to build better relationships with coaches, how to build better relationships with your teammates. Those types of things, those are transferable skills that,
Yes.
athletes are gonna have to know how to get along with people in the workplace and things like that. So um athletics really is a testing ground for a lot of the important characteristics that they're going to have to end up using.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're life skills. I mean, that,
Life skills. Yeah, life skills through sports, basically. That's
yeah.
what it is.
And especially getting along. And did you talk about leadership, or what to say or when to say, or,
Sure. Yeah.
you've heard all these interviews about he's a quiet leader, or she's a quiet leader, or they're really vocal, or they not. Did you talk about
Yeah,
that in the book?
I did. And I discussed how your personality may not be what people would expect of a leader, but
Okay.
that you can lead with different personalities.
Right.
And that you may not be the most outgoing person, but there's different ways that you could show leadership without having to come out of your personality. So,
Right. Oh, that's excellent.
so yeah.
That's so who should read this book?
So I would say anybody 10 and up. I mean,
Okay.
there may be some kids below that age that read at a higher age level, but
Okay.
players, athletes, coaches, parents,
Okay.
because I
All
feel
right.
like it's something in there that everybody can get out of it. And really, I've seen some comments on social media of people who said that, as parents, that they've read it before they gave it to their
Oh, that's
athlete,
a good idea.
or that that's something that they can read together.
Yeah.
So to
Or
me,
what
yeah, I
about
think a lot of,
teachers in the schools, and athletic directors at high schools, or middle schools, or they might be, this might really help them understand what to do and how to do this.
yeah, for sure. I say anybody who knows a youth athlete and wants
Yeah.
to help them, that's pretty much who the book is for. And
Or
so,
even the trainers, the high school and middle school trainers, if somebody gets hurt on the field, or they notice that they don't, they would probably, this is a huge market for this book. This is so important. Yeah, I
yes, so,
understand that.
yeah, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so we have this up here. How can we get this book?
So you can go on Amazon.
Okay.
It's available on Amazon. If you type in the Undefeated Athlete, it'll come up.
Okay. Okay.
So it's there.
All
And
right. Hey, it looks like you got 5 stars. Go, Michael. That's awesome.
yeah, we're still, it's just been released maybe a couple of months ago. So I'm still waiting on more reviews to kind of trickle in and stuff like that too. So
Okay. All right. Is this your first book?
it's not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, so there are a couple of others. Here's my hitting book called Mind of a Superior Hitter that I did maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
And my very first book was Game Changer, the Baseball Parents Ultimate Guide. So that one was for baseball parents.
Nice.
So yeah, so I've got some experience writing a couple of different ones. So
Yeah. This
yeah.
is awesome. This is really great. I've read through some of these books that I can't imagine anyone not getting great value out of it. Okay. So again, um, after I read this book, what is it that you want me to be empowered um, through reading this book?
You specifically, or an athlete that reads it?
An athlete that reads it.
Yeah. So as an athlete, it's self-mastery is basically the overall gist of what I'm trying to help youth athletes with. So the
Okay.
reason why I talk about all these different topics is I'm teaching them how to think for themselves and
Okay.
how to kind of navigate this whole thing
Right.
to help things work out a lot, more smoothly. So it is teaching self-mastery. It's
Okay.
I label it kind of like a self-help book.
Okay. All right.
And
Okay.
so there's a lot that you can get out of it, but if I had to just encompass it in a term, I would just say, self-mastery.
Okay. All right. Um, so you all can find this on Amazon, maybe in some libraries. And it's probably a book that you can read more than once, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's important to read certain books multiple times, because if I read it at 11 years old and then I read it at 13 and then I read it
Right.
at 16, I'm going to have different experiences that's going to help certain information resonate differently for me.
Right.
So I may read the chapter on leadership today, but in 2 or 3 years from now, having had different experiences over those 2 or 3 years, I may pick the book up and read it later, and then it's going to sink in differently
Right.
because I've had certain experiences and I've grown and I've evolved. And so the material in the book is going to evolve with you.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you're going to get different things out of it later on down the line. So it is a book that, you can read in middle school, you can read in high school,
Okay.
and still get something good out of it.
Or coaches each season,
Yeah, coaches each season, because they're going to deal with different things too.
Yeah, and each team has a different personality or dynamic. So for kids each year getting ready, they have new coaches or different coaches or
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of different things that they could keep reading it. But this is, I think, as an endorsement, I think that Michael probably cares about student athletes and young kids through college in a way many don't. He's lived this, and so this would be, he tells the truth, and but he cares when he tells the truth. So well, this is great, Michael, and we can find this in Amazon. The Undefeated Athletes out now. Hurry, run, get your copy. Tell us how great it is, and thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Michael, understand you have a new book out. Can you tell us about it?
Well, yes, I do. And it's called The Undefeated Athlete, How to Be a Champion in Any Sport. And it's designed for youth athletes. It's dealing with self-mastery. It's a self-help book. It's going to help them with how to handle failure, how to be better leaders, how to develop better relationships with their coaches and teammates. It's going to teach them about discipline and perseverance and hard work and all those types of things that are going to be transferable skills for them in the future.
Awesome. And where can we find it?
It's on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon.
Okay.
Yep. So
Go to Amazon, The Undefeated Athlete, How to Be a Champion in Any Sport. Thank you, Michael. Hey, Michael McCree has written a new book, The Undefeated Athlete, How to Be a Champion at Any Sport. And he's going to tell us about one of the chapters about leadership.
Yeah, so one of the chapters is devoted to becoming a leader for your team. It's one of the most interesting chapters simply because most people feel like certain personalities aren't fit to be leaders. And the chapter's devoted to explaining how different personalities can still become leaders, because you can lead from a place that matches your personality.
Oh, that's great. We all need that. So you can go to Amazon and get The Undefeated Athlete, How to Be a Champion in Any Sport. Go, Michael.